राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम 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 श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. Hari Om to everybody. Talks with the mother from At the Feet of God. Page number 41. Hari Om. You can hear? Can you hear?
Yes, Swamiji.
Okay. So page number 41. This is the last portion of the dialogue between the Divine Mother and the child. You will remember that the dialogue started with surrender. Now it is ending with surrender. Self-surrender, if you go through the first one, first question was, what is the goal? To attain Ram. What is self-surrender? Resignation to the will of God. How can we attain this? By continued remembrance of God. Again, at the end, what is self-surrender? Complete and unqualified submission to the divine will is self-surrender. Though it is difficult to understand, first we will read the portion, then we will try it. Complete and unqualified submission to the divine will is self-surrender. How to attain this? Realize once for all that the divine will alone is the reality, the sole truth, that will alone prompts, actuates, guides, leads, works in all beings, including the reading and hearing now, including the seeing now. Realize once for all that the divine will alone is the reality, the sole truth, and that will alone prompts, actuates, guides, leads, works in all beings, in all creatures, in all things in the world. That your thoughts, words, deeds are the thoughts, words and deeds of the divine power that resides in and permeates your whole being. Know that you are entirely under the control of the beneficent, ever-active, all-loving, all-powerful, eternal power. But doubts arise. How to prevent them? Doubts signify that the surrender is not complete. You have to give them up. Rise above the body consciousness and your doubts will vanish. Remain in this state always in waking, dream and sleep states. Remain in this state always. Which state? Rise above the body consciousness and your doubts will vanish. How to rise above the body consciousness? By making your mind dwell always on Sri Ram, who is eternal, who is without form, who is one soul truth. What about the movements and actions of the body? The movements and actions of the body then take place simultaneously without the mind taking any notice of them, without its planning for or calculating on them. Then actions leave no impression on the mind. Impressions on the fettered mind give rise to doubts. Let the mind find its freedom, purity, peace, bliss in Sri Ram. Then how can the divine will be working? Divine will be working. Because mind, everything goes on by itself, When you dwell always in the one concentrated, intoxicated state in Sri Ram, and all your actions resolve into a perfect harmony, then it is that the divine will of Sri Ram works in you. You do not now offer any resistance to the free play of His will. You are in perfect tune with Him. He is ever pure. He is ever free. So your actions, your words, your thoughts become pure, harmonious. Now your self-surrender is complete. What is necessary first and last for perfect self-surrender? Unshakable faith in Sri Ram and in His will. Nothing short of this. Take thorough refuge in Him. Give up all fear, all anxiety, all doubts, all thoughts of weakness. You have put yourself under the guidance and control of an all-powerful being. Let Him do what He pleases with you. Give up I and mine. Make no plans. Let nothing of the past and future disturb you. Sri Ram is the sole doer, and you are His child, His servant. Your I and mine has no existence. It is all He alone. Submit, resign, surrender yourself to Him. Be always cheerful, peaceful, blissful. In this state, you should always remain. This is your goal. Sri Ram is always in you, and you are always in Him. He and you are one. This is the truth. There ends this talk. If you carefully observe, when you come and sit for this procession, minute just before sitting, please observe. Whether it was Sahaj or whether you planned. Sitting, for example, Just imagine. In our case, we were walking, coming to this hall. While walking, the mind is not walking, We are not aware of it. Svabhavastu pravartate. When we hear this dialogue, please, again we repeat, this is not a dialogue between A and B. This is not a dialogue between teacher and the taught. This is not a dialogue between sadhaka and sadhaka. So unless and until we try to visualize this, the question and answer within ourselves, we will not be able to derive the benefit. Because we have written in the text called At the Feet of God, we are reading it in our soul. Actually, every word we have to see, it is welling up in our heart. So far it has not welled up. Now Papa is prompting us to well up with these thoughts inside. Then how will we feel, satisfied with the answer? This is a fundamental factor in spirituality. Self-surrender. Fundamental. At the moment we are not in a position to understand because the me and mine is so strong in us. So that is why he says the divine power is the one behind. It prompts, actuates, guides, leads, works in our being. So we are not aware of this. We feel we are attending this session, we are hearing, we are seeing, we are switched on the gadget, we are adjusting. Everything we feel we are. That is why we are finding it difficult. It is alright. From the external standpoint, yes, we are doing it. But now this is a dialogue that has welled up in us, So we are now trying to find out how is it that these words are coming? Where from? You can close your eyes and ask yourself how you are hearing these words. How is it that you are hearing? How is it that you are seeing? Don't answer. You have to get an answer from within. We are asking ourselves where from these thoughts are now rising. How does it arise? So this is how we are taken to the source. We are trying to understand the source. If we are hearing just like any other talk, it will not help. When he says, realize once for all that the divine will alone is the reality, the sole truth, and that will alone prompts, actuates, guides, leads, works in all beings, in all creatures, in all things in the world. That your thoughts, words and deeds are the thoughts, words and deeds of the divine power that resides in and permeates your whole being. So in our case now we are trying to find out the power. The power has given us to find out the power. The power has given us to find out where from the power comes. If the power is not there, we will not be talking. So unless and until we apply inwardly, it will be difficult to understand. It is not a dialogue between A and B. It's a dialogue within our mind, inside. So the question comes, whether it is self-surrender, and the answer comes. If we are thinking that the question answer comes from external, then we will not be really deriving the benefit of this talk. So we are now trying to understand the power with the grace of that power. First and foremost thing is, we are all now feel we are hearing, we are involved in this session because the power is there in the form of life force, in the form of consciousness. And that power, though it is there, we are not aware. We feel as an individual. As we said earlier, okay, when we deal with men and matters outside, okay, natural. When somebody calls our name, we look at it, we respond. But now this is in this session, in this particular question answer session, it is not so. We are trying to find out that power because of which we are searching. If the power is not there, I as an individual don't exist. So the power has lent me the sense of individuality. And then it keeps behind the curtain. And I feel I am alone. I alone am there in the stage. But he gives me prompting from inside. And I am acting, but I am not aware. Because my attention is on the audience, Suppose I close this, I shutter of this audience, and where from the prompting comes, I look back. I look within. This is what is expected of us. What happens, each one will try, each one will know, each one will experience. And as Vinobaji said, this is at the thought level. When we come down to the body level, again the same thing will be there, let it be there. We need not bother about it. But these are some precious moments for us where we try to understand the power with the help of the power. If we succeed 1%, the whole of reading of At the Feet of God is served. That means if it has been instrumental in turning ourselves towards the source. If we are just treating it again as an outside act, no. None of us will understand anything about it. Self-surrender, how will we understand? We can't understand. Because we are trying at the level of sense of individuality. Sense of individuality, so long as it is there, self-surrender is a myth, to be more blunt. So that can come only at this raised thought level. The moment we come back to the body level, it is difficult. Not that it is impossible, but it is very difficult. So this dialogue, it is a dialogue that is taking place inside. We were not aware that the power is there. So this dialogue helps us to know that the power is there because of which every one of us feel we are there. This is the power that makes our body function. It makes our mind to think. But by the time we slowly settle down, the mind goes out. Because it is not habituated to go inward. It has been habituated, even under the banner of spiritual studies, sadhana, it has got a habit of going outside, including our chanting, our bhajan, everything is outside only, Do we feel at the time of Nama chanting that the chanting is going on because he is making us to chant? When we do bhajan, do we think about the bhajan, the prompting comes, the raga prompting comes, he guides from within? No. Even under the banner of spirituality, whatever we do, the sense of individuality is so strong. I am doing Ramnam. My Ramnam is okay. My bhajan is okay. I have done this, I have done that, That is okay. At that level, okay. Now we are trying to understand the power within, Now we really understand the purpose of At the Feet of God. He started this attempt from his outpourings. In quest of God, he laid the foundation of the real quest, submitting ourselves to his will at all points at the outer level. That was the first training. And for that, the chanting had helped him to a very great extent, because with the right perspective he was chanting. Then slowly, when he reached almost near still there were some doubts lingering. And that's what appeared in the outpourings. Again, the churning was going on. And that churning has come out in the form of at the feet of God. Here, he removed all the external aspects. All external things have been removed from the scene. And there is a calm and cool mind. He allowed these thoughts to well up. And he got replies intuitively. And he religiously recorded everything. That is how we look at it. So, if this much is understood, nothing outside is there. So, when we read, as a reader, as a sadhaka, as a devotee, we also try to, rebuild it, the same condition within ourselves. Then, to some extent, we may get some clarity. Otherwise, you can simply read. Nothing will go inside. That will alone prompts, actuates, guides, leads, works in all beings, in all creatures, in all things in the world. So when we ask ourselves, how is it that we are now knowing that we are hearing these words? It's difficult for the mind to travel further. So then we pray. You have intellectually made us know that you are there. Give us some clues by which we have a glimpse of your presence. Please open the door. Seated within you, and you have shut the door. This sort of dialogue starts. Intellectually, you have made me understand. I am clear about it. Yes. If the life force is not there, which is in the form of breathing, blood circulation, heartbeat, digestive power, all my senses are functioning because of this. I have seen dead bodies. None of these are functioning, but in me, everything is functioning. So now I have a fair idea intellectually about what the life force is. But it is still at the intellectual level, word level. Just like we have understood so many things, this is also at the word level. Now, in order to elevate it to experiential level, by ourselves we know now we cannot. So we are praying to Him from the bottom of the heart. You have brought out this wonderful dialogue between you and the sense of individuality. I may not be able to reach that state, but why don't you please make me feel that you are there? Some clues. This is how we prepare our mind and then start hearing. Know that you are entirely under the control of the beneficent, ever-active, all-loving, all-powerful, eternal power. Sarva Shaktiman. omnipotent. But doubts arise, how to prevent them? Doubt signifies that the surrender is not complete. When your presence is made known to me, I will not have any doubts. Because when your presence is made known to me, the experience teaches that everything is done by you. Rise above the body consciousness and your doubts vanish. Here body consciousness we can take it sense of individuality. Sense of individuality seat is this body, So at the thought level we can raise. Remain in the state always in waking, dream and deep sleep state. We will try. This is a clue here. How to rise above the body consciousness? By making your mind always on Sri Ram, who is eternal, who is without form, who is one soul truth. What about the movements and actions of the body? The movements and actions of the body then take place simultaneously without the mind taking any notice of them. That is, when I raise myself from the body consciousness. Let us not get confused. When we raise ourselves and try to remain in that state, that he is the one who is now lending the power to think. Whatever activities that go on, that goes on without registering itself in the mind. We are seriously hearing or thinking, somebody goes to us, passes through it, he just raises his hand and greets us, we may not see him. We may not recognize him. That means it is not registered. So the likes and dislikes will not come. Think about it. These are all purely subjective. So by this portion, this dialogue between Divine Mother and the child, Papa is now motivating every sadhaka to try to go within, contemplate. Suddenly we realize all our other sadhana like chanting, bhajan, discourse, reading, satsang, everything, it is for preparing the mind to go within. Now we understand utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. Then actions leave no impression on the mind. Impressions on the fettered mind give rise to doubts. Let the mind find its freedom. Let the mind find its freedom, purity, peace and bliss in Sri Ram. It now also gives us, don't you think that it gives us this point? That when we raise ourselves, all our activities are going on as usual. There is no shutting out, but it goes by itself. There is no attempt of the mind to identify itself with it. That is how he said Sakshi, witness. When we set the alarm in the alarm clock, at 4:30 it rings automatically, All functions are going on, but this is also set. Like that, everything gets set. This is the highest stage. He is now giving us some clues. So as sadhakas or devotees, we must find some time to dwell on these. Actions go on, the mind does not get registered, so we are free from all dandvas, all pairs or opposites, because nobody is there to put a label, this is right, this is wrong, this is favorable, this is unfavorable. Okay. At the intellectual level, we can understand all. So the main thing is to feel, to become aware of the presence of that power. And the moment that takes place, only this will happen. Otherwise, the mind will definitely own everything, identify everything. We have heard many senior devotees telling us, Papa initiated us. I had taken initiation from Papa. The initiation came through postcard. I had the privilege of taking directly from him. So what? He wanted us to go inward. Where are we now in spite of that? It is only a sentimental joy we get, when we say that we have taken directly from him. Because it is registered in our mind. And we have owned it. We are owning it. Start thinking, seriously start thinking. This is what Papa is pointing out. Through many of his teachings,
not able to get a grip on this.
Very difficult unless we go inside. It is purely a subjective subject. Absolutely subjective. So we have to try. We may not. Just like when we were children, we were trying to get up. How many times we fell down? Still we did not. We were persevering and we got up. It is not easy. Even if we lecture for hours together, it will not be clear. Unless every one of us makes an effort inward. We are still trying at the individual level. No. Close your eyes. How this hearing takes place? Where is that power? Which is that power? Then when we get attuned to it, there are moments when we know that actions go on automatically. Just like the breathing goes without registering in the mind. The blood circulation goes without registering in the mind. Digestion goes without registering in the mind. Try. I know that I have no power to order stop breathing. I have no power to order stop circulating the blood. I cannot say don't let the hair not grow. Let the nail not grow. Is it possible? Think.
Right, Swamiji, correct.
Think. At the feet of God, this particular portion is purely intended. It's becoming clearer now. Previously, it has not stuck to us. Why Papa is giving such a subjective subject which is difficult for us to understand experientially, then we know that we have no choice. As a sadhaka, we should not always be getting satisfied with our outer expressions. That is why Papa was blunt. We should not say in an open forum like this. But still we should know the truth, even if we chant for 100 years, it will be like this. He put it in that way. Just imagine. Why, the mind, getting it registered in the mind means the sense of individuality is very much present. We have not so far had at least a glimpse of his presence, We know now intellectually. Here we know we are helpless. Absolutely helpless.
How to get the glimpse, Swamiji?
How to get it?
How to get the glimpse?
How to get the glimpse, yeah?
Yes.
Only by going in. Nobody can give us a torch. Nobody can give us a map. Unless we make an effort to go inward. Papa is emphasizing it through at the feet of God. He started, the dialogue with self-surrender. He is ending the dialogue with self-surrender. Because again he was not clear, so many questions he put up. And finally, it is all sealed with this, this is the final one. How can the divine will be working then? When you always dwell in one concentrated, intoxicated state in Sri Ram, and all your actions are resolved into a perfect harmony, then it is that the divine will of Sri Ram works in you. You do not now offer any resistance to the free play of his will. Tick. You do not offer any resistance to the free play of his will. You are in perfect tune with him. He is ever pure. He is ever free. So your actions, your words, your thoughts become pure and harmonious. Now your self-surrender is complete. Again, the mind asks, what is necessary first and last for self-surrender? Unshakable faith in Sri Ram and in his will. Nothing short of this. Take thorough refuge in him. None else. We know now, no. We are finding it difficult to go within now. We have learned so many things. We have, so many things to our credit from the other individual level. We have mastered subjects, languages, this, that. So what? When we try to go inward, we feel totally helpless. Because none of these things help us,
No technique, Swamiji, for that. No technique. No technique is available.
Technique cannot come from outside. They can only take us up to this level.
You don't tell them how to balance, how to do yourself. How can you learn, how can you read, how can you talk?
Can you hear this?
Yes.
So,
Yes, I can.
now suppose we have been asked, I want to learn the cycling. I was put on the cycle seat, somebody was holding it, and then he said, pedal. They will also help us. Pedal, 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 pedal. And suddenly they leave, we fall down. Again we get into the seat, again we ask them, that is what happened in our case, so we remember now. We were shouting at the person who was helping us. Because we had bruises, He said, no, you have to get bruises and only you will learn. Automatically the balance comes from within. Has anybody helped you? We try to go back. Slowly, we tell him, don't leave. I will try. So he will be there. Now, he will not touch the cycle, but he will be there. Suppose it loses its balance, I should not fall again. And like that, slowly he leaves. We get an inkling about then there is no question of losing it. Even if we don't do the cycling for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, still the balance is there. If suppose somebody asks, is there any clue? There is no clue. This is the blunt truth. No technique. Nobody can help us. Only up to this somebody can help us.
What have we have been doing all this long?
What are we doing all this long?
We are preparing ourselves. We have been sitting on the cycle seat and we were looking up to the Guru for Shishya, or seniors, books, or Ramnam, everything. The moment they stop, finished, we are their protective hands, the moment it is removed, we fall again. No? We have not still got the balance. That is why Papa said Guru can help only up to this. He cannot say, I will give you now the balance in your mind. No, you can't. Nobody can give. If that was possible, they would have given to everybody, no? Because they have nothing for their own. We remember Papa's dialogue with Mataji. It had appeared in the Gospel. Mataji, because she was a mother to all, apart from the realized soul, she wanted everyone to be given this state by Papa. Papa used to smile. And one day when Mataji kept on pressing, he said bluntly, if you want a child, there is a process behind it. You have to become pregnant. You have to undergo this 8 or 9 months. Then only it will come. From outside, however much tuition is given, no. So there is a process and there is a outcome. Similarly, only all these are theoretical. Now Papa has taken us up to that correct level. He is now slowly trying to leave his hand from the seat. We may fail, but he says, I will protect you, I will protect you. So now that means we feel totally helpless now. All that we have learned so far, all that we have done so far has not helped us to get that balance. So, and because I have not tried, I was looking up to somebody, looking up to something. I thought this will help me, that will help me, this will help me, that will help me. Now I know fully well, nothing will help. I have to take an inward journey only. Means what? Trying to go behind the very word, behind the very thought, behind the very action. And I try and try and try. You see the way in which Papa is taking us. Okay, this had happened in his mind. Why should he put it in the form of a book? Only to help us. Hey, look here. Self-surrender is the only way. Self-surrender means now it becomes probably a little more clear, no? What is self-surrender? Whatever we have learned, whatever we have practiced outside, whatever we have done outside, we have to leave behind and then go within. We feel totally helpless. We feel this will help, that will help. My knowledge in Bhagavad Gita will help. My knowledge in Upanishad will help. No. It was all satisfying my intellect. Because the moment I start thinking where from the thinking power comes, does it help us? If at all it helps, again we are in the intellectual level only. Either at the emotional level or at the intellectual level. When we chant Ram Nam beautifully, when we chant Bhajan beautifully, and we derive some joy, now we know it is at the emotional level. When we read, when we apply our mind, when we contemplate, when we do this, it is at the intellectual level. But the power is behind this. Not that it is in me. That is why he said, in one of his quotations, divine author of your being, otherwise the life is in vain. What is that word? You got that book? Sadhaka Sadhana? Is it there? If you don't, unless you link yourself with the divine author of your being. Correct. You kindly now think about it. Previously we have read this word. Now probably it might be answering. Therefore, let us be earnest in employing all the resources of our being to advance toward the supreme goal. May our thoughts, words and deeds have a background of divine consciousness. It is to be remembered that unless we link our life with the divine author of our being, our life is in vain. Blunt, Link our life with the divine author of being. That is the power. The power because of which now the words are coming out. Unless the sense of individuality, unless it links with that, unless the sense of individuality becomes aware that it is existing because of that, our life is in vain. Steadily we have to practice concentration of thought on God until we feel His nearness, until we become aware of His presence, until we have the vision of Him everywhere about us, until we realize our oneness with Him. The 4 steps. If at all, again intellectual level, the clues are given. How am I to link myself with the divine author of my being? So I have to first feel His nearness, then presence, then the vision, and finally to become one with Him. So let us think about the nearness first. Nearness first. We are traveling towards ashram. As we keep nearing, what do? Think about ashram, We will think about ashram. We will think about everything connected with ashram. That is why the nearness is felt. Then when we approach and when we step into the ashram compound, we feel the presence. Then suddenly we feel like so many people have come. Something like that, Beyond which nothing can be explained. So the 4 stages: nearness, presence, vision of this in everywhere, becoming one. The last 2, we have to graduate and then understand. But the first 2, as a devotee, as a sadhaka, we can keep on trying. So first and foremost is nearness. Nearness, again, not outwardly, inwardly. Nearness is, these words are now coming. It's the truth. So He is there. When first the mind or intellect keeps on asserting that it is there, the nearness is answered. You just try this. What happens when we make an attempt to feel His nearness? Probably with a closed eye it will be helpful than an open eye. Because the thought will take us here and there unless we have that much control over our thoughts. Even when we open, we can concentrate on a particular thought, provided the entire concentration is there. So nearness, suppose somebody asks how to feel the nearness. This is the only way. How am I seeing it? How am I hearing it? How am I thinking? Previously in our annual satsang, whenever you used to say close your eyes and count 10 times you are breathing. Everybody will close their eyes and religiously they will count, and then we say, what did you find? Many of them used to say that. We never knew that breathing is going on. Many people said, yes, we felt silence or some calm and serene background. Somebody will say that, yes, we were able to witness our own chanting. That means, the nearness. Somewhere we are near Him. Yet we don't know Him yet, but slowly the mind is trained to develop this nearness. Not from any outside material. There are 0 outside material. There are only now two, thought and that power. And when we come out of it, suddenly we realize there was nothing there, na? Whatever we consider as sacred, this, that, everything has been extinct, na? When the thought is trying to explore the source, the power, because of which the thoughts are there, we will find from experience that nothing so far which we think we have helps us. Papa used to say, even in this dialogue it has come. What is the role of intellect? To know that you don't know anything. No? It doesn't mean that whatever outside knowledge the intellect has, it is good. But for to know him, intellect is totally helpless. Intellect will definitely, because of its maturity, it will tell us, sorry, I cannot take you beyond this level. So at the feet of God, whatever may be the 20, 30 pages or 40 pages, how many? We started on page number 24, ends in 43. So nearly 20 pages, This 20 pages dialogue is now getting zeroed to this. We understand now Papa's the purpose of bringing out this book. It was his experience, but he was prompted from within to make it as a book, so that we will not concentrate on the book, we will not concentrate on the text, but we will definitely concentrate on our journey, inward journey. Just like that cycle learning, that we keep on bringing so that it might become clearer and clearer to us. All other things are useful only at the outer level. But to know the fundamental one, nothing will help. That is why in Nirvana Shadgam you remember, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani na aham, na cha shrotra jihve, na cha grana netre, na cha vyoma bhumi, na tejo na vayuhu, chitananda rupam shivoham shivo. Whatever I have heard, whatever I have seen, whatever I have tasted, whatever I have smelled, whatever I have touched, no. It is the power behind seeing, power behind tasting, power behind touching, power behind smelling. Now, probably many of Papa's words become slightly class. It is something like a horse which cannot hold itself, He used to say that, Tongue. Which can hold others, but not on itself. The very subject. Probably now things may be getting more and more clear. Then we should we leave Ram chanting bhajan? No. Because unless our mind is habituated to go and spend its energy outside only. So the same energy we have to use to prepare for our inward journey. And so the preparing for the inward journey is helped by Ramnam. Preparation for the inward journey is helped by Swadhyay. Preparation for the inward journey is helped by Satsang, Swadhyay. So far we were treating it as an activity, Think. So not that we should leave any of those things. But we were using it as an external, we thought, external activity will help us. No, it will not help us. It is made very clear. But external activities should be in line with, in conformity with our ideal. So all these things will help us. Otherwise you and I will not be sitting here now. Because of that preparation we have done, we are now sitting and going through this exercise. So this preparation, it can come through any of these. Not that it should come only through this, but in our case, God made us to get in touch with our preceptor, who gave us this Nam Dhyan Seva surrender aspect. But we still considered everything as an external activity. Though he made it very clear, still we were not understanding it. Anyway, that has helped us now to reach this stage. We will continue the same activity with an altogether different perspective. That it is to prepare the mind to get focused and to become zero. Now again we repeat, utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. It is in the stillness that we know and realize God. That power. Otherwise the mind will go here and there. So to discipline the mind, we are chanting the name. That is why Papa added this, two things. He said, first we should know He is seated within our heart. Then he said, take to mental chanting. When it takes place, lot of hurdles, mind goes here, there. You are chanting, mind still goes. Mental chanting goes on. He says, then self-surrender. Don't worry. It is not the don't. So these are the steps he has given. Now you start rereading, Any book you take, you will get more light. That's the glimpses. Anything. Previously we were reading it, memorizing it as an intellectual exercise. To have it as a knowledge. We were hearing it with the purpose of registering it. Not necessary, Shruti. Not necessary. Because I got it here. Is it clear? Not clear.
Somewhat.
Very good. Very happy to hear that. We will read step by step. Papa, now you take up any book of Papa. I'm sure it will definitely help us now. We will have a better understanding. In the spiritual journey, going inward is a must. When we sit silently, we have to be conscious in the first place that the God we seek is in our own heart. Then mentally repeat His name. Make the mind repeat the name until all its waves cease. And it becomes perfectly still. If it does not easily become still, we have to continue the repetition of the name mentally with an attitude of self-surrender. I am unable to restrain my mind. Please. Just like in the first chapter, he pleads, where is rest? Where is peace? Then he says, we try to develop a witness consciousness. It is a state of awareness of the immortal and radiant truth within us. In fact, this awareness itself is God realization. Previously we were reading it. It was giving some intellectual idea. We had formed something about God realization. But now we find he has given us the methodology beautifully. So first we have to keep on hammering that it is He who is within, He is making me to chant. So naturally I will ask, I cannot repeat this word. Make me aware of your presence. Mentally chant. I am chanting your name. To ensure that my mind does not go anywhere, I am chanting your name only. Then immediately the answer, stop talking this. Still the mind. So where from the chanting comes, we try to go there. That is called stillness. It might be for a fraction of a second. It is okay. But we will feel His presence. Somebody asked about how to get a glimpse. When the balance comes, with all our activity, with all our concentrated effort, to go within. We'll again read Papa's words, please. In the spiritual journey, going inward is a must. When we sit silently, we have to be conscious in the first place that the God we seek is in our own heart. Then mentally repeat His name. Make the mind repeat the name until all its waves cease. That means no thought going outward. And it becomes perfectly still. If it does not easily become still, you have to continue the repetition of the name mentally with an attitude of self-surrender. When you are prompting me to mentally chant, why are you not making me aware of it? No? You are prompting me to chant. Suppose you have written Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, and you look at it now. Apart from the letters, there is a base, All of you have visited ashram. You have gone to Samadhi Mandir or even our Bhajan hall inside, Sanctum Sanctorum. You will find Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram is inscribed on the marble plate. How do we recognize Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram? Because the marble is there. Whiteness of the marble is the background. And letters are not the white. That is why it stands out. Intellectually again, let us not stop with it. These are all approximating, We should not stop with that simile. Then similarly we try to go, we are hearing the Ramnaam chanting now, so there should be a base. Ramnaam chanting is a wave, is a sound wave. Mentally when we chant, there is a sound wave. And the wave should have a base. So through the sound we enter into the inward journey. Through the sound we enter into the soundlessness. All these things Papa has said and we have read. But what happened? It was at the intellectual level. Go on repeating Ramnaam continuously without any break. The method of approach through sound has been found to be the easiest. As soon as the mind is absorbed in it, in the chanting, exclusive, we rise higher into a state of super consciousness, where there is absolute soundlessness. You can see this, There are letters, the white background. White background is the substratum. Similarly, the sound which now comes, it comes from the soundlessness never understand intellectually and stop. So when we close our eyes, we try to find out the soundlessness, the base, soundlessness. So Papa says, as soon as the mind is absorbed in the name, we rise higher into a state of super consciousness where there is absolute soundlessness. The sound that you hear is what comes out of that infinite silence. When we repeat the mantra aloud, we tune ourselves to the sound produced by it. Now, this is very important. Through the sound, we enter into the perfect stillness within us. Through the sound, we enter into the perfect stillness within us. So the sound must possess us. The sound is the first movement of the motionless. Through the sound, we enter into the soundless. In order to help us to take to this journey, the mind should not go here and there. That is why concentration on the name and chanting is recommended by him. That is how he practiced, he was able to do it. Now these words might be more clear. Previously we would have read it. Once again we will read. Go on repeating Ram Nam continuously without any break. The method of approach through sound has been found to be the easiest. As soon as the mind is absorbed in its chanting, we rise higher into a state of super consciousness. The sound that you hear is what comes out of that infinite silence. When we repeat the mantra aloud, we tune ourselves to the sound produced by it. We tune ourselves to the sound produced by it. And through the sound, we enter into the perfect stillness within us. So the sound must possess us. Sound here means Nama should possess us. Nothing else. The sound is the first movement of the motionless. Now suppose many of you might be having this small book. With this background, when you keep on reading, Inward Journey, if anybody wants, you can send it to email. We can send it to you the soft copy. These are called out, small, very small. But now it might become clearer and clearer because of what he has given us in the Peter part. Dialogue between Divine Mother and the child. He has now completely prepared ourselves. He is now holding his hand on the cycle seat. We are sitting on the cycle seat. We have been asked to pedal. And then to get the balance. Up to that, everything has helped. From the outer factors, outer level, it has helped us so far. The moment he leaves the hand from the feet, if we don't fall, because our pedaling is not making the cycle to move fully. You see, the moment he leaves, I will fall down. So if the pedaling has to take place, though we are attempting to do the pedaling when he is holding his hand, think about it, na? We are trying to do the pedaling with him in the back. The moment he leaves, Until such time we have not had the balance. Only when he leaves and we are alone, we get the balance. It is inherent in us. It has to be touched, kindled and brought out not by any outside factors. It is purely an internal conviction, internal, what do you call it? One-pointedness, We cannot explain how the balancing came out. We have to experience that. We have to subject ourselves. That much, the clarity has come because of this Advaita. So let us try. It may be a tough job, but placing our full trust in Him, we will all go ahead and we will now take to the mental chanting with all seriousness. At least for some time in a day, a few minutes a day to begin with. We will try. Papa is now preparing us. And he is holding the back seat, no doubt. He is holding his hand. Otherwise we would have fallen, we will not be sitting and hearing it. The very fact that we are sitting and hearing means he is still holding, though we have not started pedaling by ourselves. So now, with this background, we will try, and we are sure to get that back. Because he has taught us. When we did the cycling, he has taught us. It is possible. Though no outside factor has helped you, outside factors have got its own relevance up to a certain level. If you only rely on outside, the balance will never be touched and kindled. But with all the background, you are now trying, pedaling, and now suddenly, when no external supporter, external prop is not there, you are not fallen. You have got the balance. So let this be pondered over, contemplated, and make use of all that He has facilitated us so far for this exclusive purpose. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai